Hey everybody! Oh my gosh, Facebook Live has changed since I did my last live video. I've been trying to do pre-recorded because it seems like my videos cut in and out with service. I'm sorry if you can hear a movie in the background. My kids are watching Sing, so it's like the 20th time they've watched it, I swear, in a week. But anyways, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Amanda Moore. I'm an independent beauty guide with Limelight by Alcone. And today, it's kind of taken me a while to do this video because it really is something that my team name means a lot to me, and it has a lot to do with my why. And it just, I don't know. I guess a lot of people, when you think of dandelions, and this is why I was kind of like, I don't know if I want my team name to be dandelions, because a lot of people think of them as weeds. And sometimes, you think of weeds, you think of worthless and just not really useful for anything. And that's kind of why I picked dazzling dandelions. Because dazzling, obviously dazzling, you're just, you're dazzling. But dandelions have so much more meaning to them than the surface. They're not just a weed. They have a lot of healing features. Just looking at them will make you smile. If you're not trying to take them down out of your yard. But, so I went and I have been researching dandelions for, I'm going to say, probably a good 3 months. And at first I was like, oh, I just don't know about making my team name dandelions. But time and time again, everything that I thought of, it didn't click to me like this name. So I've actually had my team name picked out for I'm probably a good 5 months. About a month after I joined Limelight, I found my team name, but I didn't really stick to it, I guess, because I really wanted to find out what it was. And what it really meant to me. So I did a lot of soul searching. And now I'm rambling, and I'm really good at that. But, so I have notes because when I get in the moment, it kind of just spews out. And I don't want to word vomit. So, like I said, a lot of people think of a dandelion as a weed. I myself personally did, but there's just something about them that when you look at them, you want to smile. You see a yellow dandelion, or you see the white ones with the puffy, and you make a wish on them. It's just, that's the old wives' tales. It's just something that you kind of did. And I talk a lot with my hands, and I'm just going to apologize now, because that's just how I am. I talk with my hands a lot. So, the real meaning behind a dandelion is it has healing, it has an emotional attachment to it. So it can be healing from emotional pain or physical injury, and it also means intelligence, especially in an emotional and spiritual sense. So to me, that is you're in touch with your emotion. Me, I know the emotions that I have. I tend to try to push them to the side, and I don't really face them a lot. So I know what emotions I have, I just don't really, I guess I don't stay in tune with them. I just kind of push them to the side, and I'm like, alright, I have so much stuff to do, I don't have time to deal with, this sadness right now, so I'll deal with it later. I know I cannot be the only one that is like that. And it also represents warmth and power from the sun. We all know the sun is super powerful. We get sunburns from but it just, in a spiritual sense, the sun is very powerful, and you can just feel the physical warmth from the sun, and it's a bright light if you're having a dark day. Seeing the sun, just for some reason, the sun always makes me want to smile. I see the sunshine and I'm like, oh, I love it, you know. And then dandelions mean a lot of things, and all of these really hit home to me, and that's why I just feel like I don't want to skip any, like, things that I found out about them. So just bear with me. It also stands for surviving through all challenges and difficulties. So you are having a difficult time and you don't really know whether you're going to, my hair's being crazy. You don't know whether you're going to be able to push through that time, but you really push through. That is a really good representation of a dandelion. And it just, you know, surviving through these different challenges that you've been faced in life. And we've all been faced with challenges, we all have. It's things that, you know, we really didn't want to deal with, or just, grief, anything. We've all had challenges. It could be with your career, it could be, with your kids, your husband, anything. And so, surviving those challenges and just pushing through and getting through those challenges is something big. I know I don't have my makeup done. I was going to do my makeup while I was talking, but I knew I'd totally get distracted. So, don't mind my little friends either that are hanging out with us today. But it also stands for, like, getting your wish fulfilled. Earlier when I said, the white puffy dandelions that you see, and as a kid you would go and you'd pick them and you'd say, all right, make a wish, and then blow, and then you would just watch them, fly off, and you would hope that your wish would get fulfilled. So that's just, it's fulfilling yourself and really just getting, it really represents a lot of facing my challenges, facing my emotions, and just keeping in touch with myself. So a dandelion, to me, it's not just a weed. And I feel like a lot of times that's how I would feel. I would feel like a weed, and I would feel like I have so much to offer, but then I would have that doubt creep in, and I would have, there's just a lot of things that you don't, you just have a lot of self-doubt. And going through those tides and going through those emotions. And then really, when I started researching dandelions, I was like, this is how I feel. Like, I feel like, a lot of times I'll feel like I'm just this weed in the middle of the grass that just everybody wants to run over and not really care about and see what it's, what I really have to offer inside. And it kept coming back to me. So that's when I knew that is what I wanted my team name to be. And that's why I chose it. Because even in the darkest times, I know that I have something to offer. I know that, I'm worth more than just a weed. And I hope that, I hope everybody feels that, when you have that doubt, that you don't feel like a weed. Like, even if you think you are, just know that you're really and truthfully not. Like, you have so much to offer, and having that in the back of your mind, it's hard to overcome it. So it's just, that's why I really, really chose that name, Dazzling Dandelions. And it just really, it kind of goes in tune with my why, because I have dealt with depression and anxiety most of my adult life. It started after I had Caden. I had postpartum really bad, and back then it wasn't talked about a lot, and it just, I was 18, I had a new baby, I had no clue what I was doing. I got very sick within the first week of having him, and I was back in the hospital 6 days after I had him. And it was a really hard time adjusting to being a new mom, being a young mom, staying at home all the time. I had worked since I was 15 years old. So, I had 3 years of, I was constantly bringing in my own income, and then I was relying on Craig. I relied on Craig for my income, and I hated it. I did try direct marketing back in 2010 with another company. It was like a health and wellness company. I got on the health kick. And I didn't like the products. I tried it, I signed up, I tried it, and I didn't like it. I mean, I remember sitting on the floor crying because I had just spent $500 of our savings. I wiped our savings completely out. And I remember crying because I had literally just wasted all of this money, and I had no way to get it back because I couldn't consciously, offer these products to somebody when I didn't personally like them. And so I just kind of took a $500 loss, and then, that kind of really sucked, but it was what it was. But, that's just, you kind of feel, being a stay-at-home mom is hard. And that's kind of when I really started to feel like I was, like a weed. Like, I just didn't really feel like I was putting my help in, and I didn't feel that I was helping at all. Yeah, I was staying at home with Caden, and I was, doing all that, but I just didn't feel that I was truly contributing to the family. So I actually went back to work in 2011. And I worked for almost a year, and then we got pregnant with Logan. We already had Caden. And then my grandpa got really sick. He had gotten cancer, and a month before he passed away, I had quit my job. That was just a whole nother... It was not a good experience, working for someone else. It wasn't at all. And then I went and stayed at home with Logan for a couple years, sent him to daycare, hated it. The daycare was great, don't get me wrong, but I just absolutely hated it. It was leaving my baby with someone else. Caden was in school. He had just started kindergarten. I was taking days off to do his thing because I couldn't just drop and go. I had to make sure that I could get the day off. I loved my job, don't get me wrong, I really did, but I just felt like I missed so much with my kids, and I hated it. It was heartbreaking. I loved the adult interaction. That was entertaining. I worked with a great group of people, so that really helped. But it wasn't where my heart was at. My kids are my life, and that's just where I wanted to be, was with my kids. I wanted to be able to do their school stuff, and Logan started preschool my second year, because I worked for a local school. In my second year working at the school, Logan started preschool, and I missed a lot of parties. I missed a lot, and I missed a lot with Caden's first grade year. So it was just, it was hard. It was not something that I really wanted to do. Like I said, I loved who I worked with, but missing all that time with my kids just wasn't what I wanted. I couldn't be as hands-on as I wanted to, and then that just made me really sad because it kind of put me in a little back in my depression, and it was not a fun time. So I went and I resigned my position at the end of the school year in 2015. no, 2016. This was my first full year not working there. So I I resigned there, and I'm in school full time, so I was focusing on school and everything, but I wanted to be able to supplement my income that I was not getting, from working outside the home. I mean, I wasn't making a whole lot anyways because I was paying for daycare, and daycare will suck your pennies right out of your pocket. I think by the end of the month, I had maybe $100 out of my paycheck that we could use for groceries, gas, bills, all of that. Yes, Heather, we do. Kate, they start school the 24th of August, so we'll have to get together before then. But it was not easy we made it without my extra income, but it wasn't easy, I guess. And working, I mean, $100 extra dollars, believe me, that is amazing. But when you're paying out $400 to $500 in daycare for somebody else to watch your kid, there's one of them. But he's just crazy. But in kindergarten, Caden started having some issues with being able to sit still in class, and will you stop? You're gonna knock everything off. Okay. And that was when he we noticed a lot of behaviors, and appointments started kicking in. So that was my first year. Where you go? That was my first year working out after Logan was born. Sorry, this is probably really confusing. But so that first year, Caden was in kindergarten when I first started working at this school, and he started having some issues in school with being able to sit still. He was disruptive, and he just was having a lot of odd behaviors that I had noticed before, but they had gotten, just as he was getting older, it was getting worse. I hate to say worse because I feel like that's just like a really bad term, but I mean, they had been progressively getting, I don't know how else to put it, progressively getting worse, the older he got. So I had to start making appointments. We did like this little test thing, like where the teacher answered questions, I answered questions, and our scaling with the teacher and me were pretty similar. And that's when we discovered that he possibly had some ADHD and some depression, anxiety. So we got him into counseling. Counseling has been a godsend. It has helped tremendously, and if I had to do it all over again, I would do it in a heartbeat, because he has made such great strides, and this makes me emotional. But it really has been one of the reasons why I quit working at the school, because his appointments interfered a lot with me being able to work. So, you can't be at a job and then, expect everyone to keep covering your butt. And I didn't like that. I didn't like not being able to be there, because I felt like I couldn't give them my 100%, because my mind was elsewhere. My mind was on my kids. And I had one in preschool that I had to worry about someone getting him picked up on the half day, and then I had Caden with all of his appointments, and I could not give them my 100% the second year that I was working. So that's when I really decided that I needed to stay at home. And then last November, Lauren, who I signed up under, I worked with her husband at the school, and I had been watching her. She was with a previous company, and then I really was never like a big skincare person. I washed my face with my body wash, and boom, that was it. So I started watching her, and saw Limelight, and I was like, oh, professional makeup, you know, that's pretty amazing. I would love to have some income, but right now with school and Caden's appointments every week, and then he has his other appointment, excuse me, he has, you know, his other appointment with the psychiatrist once a month, so it was just kind of like, I had 5 appointments a month just for Caden. That did not include any sickness. That did not include, you know, Logan gets bronchitis almost every winter. He's usually sick for a week, and I would have to be off work for a week. And it just really, it wasn't suitable. So I watched Lauren with Limelight, and I watched her for a good couple months, and I really was like, man, I really am seeing such a difference in her skin and like the makeup. And Craig and I talked about it for, I'm gonna say, a good month. I did a little bit of research. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do a whole lot. I just kind of like went on the website, looked at the company, went to the Alcone site and read the story behind it, and then I just kind of, I was like, alright, I have to do this. Like, I know that, I just know these products are amazing, and, screaming in the background. So, I bought the kit, on January 5th, and then when I got the kit on the 11th, I tried my products, and I told Craig, I said, these products are like nothing I have ever felt before. I'm like, they are literally these, like, amazingly awesome. And then I was like, alright, I have to try more of the skincare. And I have to get more lip colors, and I have to get I was like making this list, and Craig's eyes are like deer in the headlights. He's like, oh my gosh, Amanda, stop. Like, you're not, you know, it was just kind of one of those things where he was like, oh my gosh, what in the world is she getting, what in the world is she getting into? So, I mean, it was just, and then I got in our groups, and I really started to see how everyone was and how supportive everybody was. And it really made me think how darn lucky I was to stumble across this and to be introduced to it. And I mean, still to this day, if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm just having like a really off day, I will message one of the ladies and like just talk to them. Like, I've made some really good friendships, and it's amazing because I've never met any of these ladies. I can't wait until I do, but it's just the support that I have gotten from all of them is absolutely incredible. And I no longer felt like a weed. I felt like a dandelion. I felt like I mattered, and that I had a purpose, and I just didn't know what that purpose was yet. So I went from the aspect of feeling like a weed to feeling like a dandelion in a matter of 6 months. I mean, there's still days that I feel like a weed. I am not gonna lie. There's days that I am just like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like a blooming dandelion. I feel like a weed. Like, I feel, you know, and then I'll be like, get that out of your brain. Like, you are worth everything that you do, and stop thinking like you're a weed, because you're not a weed. You're a dandelion. You have potential. You have so much to offer. Just quit being crazy and thinking crazy things, because that's not who you are. And that's what. Yes.
And my dad.
And then here's the other one.
Mommy.
Never fails. What?
My dad backed up the gator in the truck.
Okay.
After all this wrong,
Thanks for the info. kid, I swear. He is what he is. So that's where I kind of really thought that I just lost my train of thought. This is so typical. My brain's on my kids and the craziness that's ensuing behind me. But stop. Both of you stop. Mom of boys right here constantly arguing. But what really stuck out to me with the dandelion is it's a lot of people see it as a sign or a symbol of fighting through the challenges of life and coming out victorious on the other side. So when I'm battling, my depression or my anxiety is through the roof, because honestly, this live was like the most terrifying one that I've done. I can sit here and put foundation on and show you guys how to apply foundation or mascara all day long and make myself look like a goof, but to really get personal with a whole lot of people is terrifying, because I'm not one to, unless I really get to know you personally, I'm not one to share a whole lot of my backstory and a lot of like what happened. I mean, I gave you a little bit of a summary of what kind of I went through, but so that's kind of like my reasoning behind choosing Team Dazzling Dandelions, which is not my team name, Dazzling Dandelions. And I mean, it kind of goes into my name for my website too, Illuminate and Limelight with Amanda, because I know a lot of people are like, illuminate, isn't it supposed to be illuminate? But illuminate to me, it's just the singular verb, like I will illuminate in whatever I do, and it means the same. It's just kind of my spin on it, I guess. I could talk for like hours. Just ask any of my family members. Especially Craig. He's like, oh my gosh. Because I'm always talking. Like, no. I'm pretty sure that after I got over my shy stage as a child, I've never shut up since. But I do listen good. I do have to say that. I just have a lot of things to talk about, apparently. I have no idea. But I'm glad I can laugh and make fun of myself, because I used to not be able to do that. I'm still a really good critic on myself, don't get me wrong, because I like to criticize myself. But this little thing here is bothering me. I can't wait to get it covered up with some concealer and foundation, because I keep looking at it. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, and if this video was way too confusing, because I know I bounced around a lot, and I kind of threw in a little bit of my why in there. So, but I'm sorry that it's like 30 minutes long. I've never done a 30-minute video. So I apologize now. I'm sorry. But I hope everybody has a good Sunday. And as always, my name is Amanda Moore, and I'm a beauty guide with Limelight by Alcone, and thank you for watching.